So Theodore Roosevelt said, in any moment of decision, the best thing that you could do is the right thing. The next best thing is the wrong thing, and the worst thing you could do is nothing. You ever wonder what you would do if you were at a concert or the movies or church or the mall, and all of a sudden you hear what sounds like fireworks, but you know it's not fireworks, and you hear people yelling and screaming and running and ducking and like sheer terror and sheer chaos all over the place, everywhere you look. What do you do? What's worse is, what if you're in that exact same spot, but you have your kids with you? What do you do? What's up, Warriors? This is Kiyoshi Dave Herman with 5 Elements Tactical Training, here to share with you some warrior skills and drills that anyone can learn and everyone should know. If you're new to the channel, welcome and thanks for stopping by. If you already follow us on social media and that's how you found your way over to this channel, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and the bell notification button and the little thing where it says all notifications, so YouTube will let you know when the next video drops, and you get all sorts of cool content from here as well. In addition to being a police officer and a martial arts school owner and a firearms instructor, one of my other jobs is that I'm an active shooter response instructor. So what that means is that I've gone to take a bunch of classes to get a bunch of certifications, both so that I would know what to do in the event that that happened, but also so that I can come back and teach other people, whether it's a school, a church, a hospital, anybody that wants to have some sort of plan in place, that in the event something like that pops off, that they should have some sort of plan in that moment of what to do. So when I teach these things, it all depends on who I'm teaching. If I'm teaching a room full of civilians, well, then there's a certain plan that they should have. If I'm teaching a room full of law enforcement personnel, well, then there's a different formula or plan that they should have. But when I'm in the dojo and I'm talking to the parents of the kids, and there was something on the news about either at a movie theater or a church or a playground or wherever, because these things happen more and more, as sad as that is, they're asking me not as like, hey, if I'm at work, what do I do? They're not asking me like, hey, if this happened while I'm at the movies, what do I do? They're asking, if I'm with my kids, what do I do? Now, it's a bit of a loaded question, because there's the part of me that wants to answer that as a police officer, like, as a police officer, what should I do? If I'm at work, I would handle it one way. If I was off duty by myself and had my firearm with me, I'd handle it differently. But if I'm like out at the playground, me, my kids, no weapon, no body armor, no handcuffs, well, then what do I do? And that's kind of the perspective that most parents, when they ask me, what do I do? I need to answer it from that perspective, like that side of Kiyoshi. You know what I mean? The knee-jerk response to any sort of like active shooter event or mass killing event is run, hide, fight, in that order. First thing is you run. You hear the scary thing and you get out of there. You just keep running and running and running until you're far enough away and you find yourself like in a safe spot, and then you start calling for help and hope that the cavalry comes. If you're not sure where to run, then you hide. You get down and you get behind something that'll protect you. You try to, like, while you're down there, think. Take a deep breath, try to stay calm, try to think to yourself, like, oh my God, where is the danger coming from and where's my escape? And from here to my escape, are there other spots that I could hide along the way? In the event that neither of those are an option, and the threat is close and the threat is closing in, and you have no choice but to fight or die, well, I don't want to die. And if I have to, I'm going to go down fighting. That's me. And I hope that's you too. Warriors. You remember that you're warriors. You're warriors. Now, when you have your kids with you, well, we have a whole nother set of priorities that we have to kind of take into consideration when thinking about these run, hide, and fight strategies. All right, so I got a cool surprise for you guys today. I brought 2 of my 3 kids with me, and I'm going to show you some of the drills that I practice with them that I show them in the dojo too, and I'm not sure if the parents go home and practice it or not. I teach it in all the different active shooter response programs that I teach, because, again, you have to have some plan. A bad plan is better than no plan at all. So I brought my kids in with me today to show you some of the stuff that I practice with them. Stick around, check it out. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. All right, so there's 2 separate exercises that I do with my kids pretty often. I always feel like I should do it more often. The first one's called turtle shell, and the second one is called stack up. Basically, the way any of these work is, I have 3 kids and a crazy dog, and I call my kids by the wrong names all the time. I call my daughter by the son's name, the son by the dog's name, the dog by the kid's name, and the one thing I never call them by is their middle names. So the code word for if danger is near or I need them to listen to me 100%, like right now, the code word is I call them by their middle name, and that's like saying to somebody, Tin Hut, and I expect 100% undivided attention, and whatever instructions I give them are to be followed with 0 questions, just okay. So the way this works is if I were to call them by their middle name and say turtle shell, they know to basically dive into the fetal position, and I go on top of them using as much of my body mass as possible to cover as much of their body mass and vitals as possible. The second one is stack up, which kind of comes from I'm on a warrant team, a warrant squad at my police job, and sometimes when we do dynamic entries or fast entries or we team up with other agencies, you form a line. It's called a stack, and basically the first guy in line's got a big shield and everybody else stays in line behind that person, so you're using that shield to protect as many people in the stack as possible. So when I do with my kids, I am the shield. So like I'm the point guy and the shield, and I use as much of my mass to protect as much of them as possible, and they know to stay right up on me. So first I'm going to show you how stack up works. Now stack up would be like if I had my firearm, then I would have my firearm like trained in the direction I'm moving or at the low ready so that I'm ready to use it to defend myself and my family, of course. If I didn't have it, stack up is going to work the same way, except that I just know that I'm the shield that's going to be protecting them. So ordinarily, when we're walking somewhere, if it's all 3 of us, I hold both of their hands. If it's just one of us, because I'm a righty, I always hold their hand with my left hand so that I have my right hand or my dominant side ready to, defend myself, draw my knife, draw my firearm, to do my work. So this is to hold them, to protect them, and this is to get to like whatever weapon I need to protect myself and my family. If I'm walking with both of them, then obviously I try to hold on to both of them. Sometimes if I'm carrying some stuff and we're walking through a busy parking lot or something, I'll hold on to one and I'll say, the other one, either we wrap up like this or I'll say hold my pocket or something that I can hold whatever I'm carrying and keep them safe. This is the street side. I keep them between me and the street or the cars or the moving cars or whatever. Now, if we're walking and I have just one of them, so stand by, buddy. If I have just the warrior princess and I say stack up means that she's going to get right behind me, pretty much hold on to the belt of my pants, and she's going to be like a shadow, like glued to me, and no matter where I move, she stays behind me. If I need to drop down right away, she's going to use as much of me as if I was an oak tree or some sort of cover for her, to use me as a shield. Since they were little, the older one was always the one to make sure that she sandwiched the younger one between me and her. So when they were much younger, and I'd say stack up, I would grab him, she would go behind him, and he holds me, she holds him, and basically make sure that we are very tight together. There's no space between us. If I start moving forward, they stay right with me. If I stop, they stop. If I start moving back, they move back. Stay close, tighten it up, tighten it up. If I circle wherever I go, they stay right behind me. If I drop, they stay right behind me. Wherever I move, I'm the shield, I'm the cover, and they're directed to stay right behind me. The third one being so tiny, of course, either of them could put the third one between any one of us, but the oldest one I like to be on the end because she's had the most practice with it, and she's like, if my wife's not here, the second in command, if that makes sense. The way turtle shell works is, again, if it was gunfire, explosives, incendiary devices of any kind, it is going to be really loud, lots of screaming, a lot of chaos, a lot of scary things going on. So if I said Peanut, turtle shell, her middle name's not Peanut, but operational security, I'm not telling you her middle name. From here, she drops down, and I'm going to drop down, covering as much of her as I can. Now, just so you know, I don't know if you can see, but she knows to put her fingers inside her ears to basically keep it as quiet as possible. If my weight became heavy, now this comes from jiu-jitsu, so start out on your hands and knees, elbows and knees. I try to cover as much of her as I can to keep, again, I'm trying to shield her head, her spine, and her organs, her vitals. If they know that if they were to feel me go lifeless or I become really, really heavy on them, I know that it's challenging for them to breathe. So something we do in jiu-jitsu, when you got somebody really heavy on you and they're laying on your diaphragm and you're like, and you can't breathe, you roll onto your side. Same position, but at least you're giving your room your diaphragm and lungs room to breathe this way. So she knows that if I go like really heavy, to best she can, roll onto her side and keep breathing. No matter what, she stays under there until it's quiet and either one of the good guys comes to rescue her or save her, or the coast is clear, and regardless of my condition, she wiggles out and gets away to safety, leaving me behind. All right, so now this time, if I have two of them and I say turtle shell, they're going to drop down really close to each other, arm around one another. Do it, man. Let's go. Get there, get there, get there. Again, trying to cover their ears the best they can. And again, I'm going to use as much of my mask to cover as much of them as I can. If, again, they had to roll onto their sides, they could do it like almost like spooning, stomach to back, back to stomach. And again, trying to help cover each other, protect each other. And no matter how heavy I get, they stay in place. They stay quiet. They stay still until either good guys come, I tell them the coast is clear, or if I am unresponsive and I'm just laying on top of them, either when the good guys come or they hear silence and they wiggle out, and regardless of my condition, they find a safe spot and help. So again, it's a little scary and it's a little bit much, and am I crazy for teaching it? I don't know, maybe. But again, talk to the police officers you know, or the military personnel that you know, and some of the things that they've seen and heard and read about and get updates about, and they're going to tell you, no, you're not crazy. Like, again, you're better to have the knowledge and never need it than need it and not have it. All right, so quick review. So if I'm walking with either one of them, Peanut, stand by. If I'm walking with Mini-Me and something scary and I said, hey, Mini-Me, stack up. He gets right behind me right away, holds on to the belt of my pants or the back of my pants, and wherever I go, I almost want to feel like his head right up against me. So if I move forward, he moves with me. If I stop, he stops. If I back up, he backs up. Wherever I turn, he stays with me. And I'm always going to try and keep as much of myself facing the threat as possible, so I'm as much of a shield for him as they can be. If I have both of them and I say stack up, again, you teach this to your kids however you want. Whoever's older and understands it better is probably the one that you're going to want to like help back you up in this moment. So if I say stack up and Peanut knows it better, she's going to grab him, however they do it, as tight as we can, stomach to back, back to stomach. Wherever I move, they move with me. If I stop, they stop. If I drop, they take cover behind me. And again, I'm trying to use as much of myself as a shield to protect them as possible. Recover on your feet. One more time for turtle shell. So if we do this single, stand by. So if I said Mini-Me, turtle shell. Drops down right away, fingers in your ear to block out the sound and scary noise. Oh my God, I got you, boy, I got you. And if it's two of them, get up, man, recover. If it's two of them, turtle shell. Hug each other, cover as much of yours as you can. I use as much of my mask to cover as much of them as I can, especially the head, especially the neck and the spine, and especially as much of their organs as I can. If I become heavy, roll onto your side, roll onto your side. I'll crush you, boy. I'll crush you, boy. Roll onto your side. And again, I'm going to try and always use as much of myself as I can to cover as much of them as possible.
And then we sneak out.
And then you sneak out. Recover. Hey, if you have ideas other than what I'm doing, let me know, because it's an ongoing process, man. And if there's any way that I could be better at this, or you could let the other subscribers and other viewers know some other ideas to help keep them and their kids especially safe, then have at it. So please, if you have any ideas, put them in the comment section below. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate it. Well, if you made it this far and you like what I'm teaching and preaching, go ahead and give me a thumbs up and like this video. If you're loving it, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And if you gotta have it, make sure you hit the bell notification button and the little thing where it says all notifications, so YouTube will let you know when the next video drops. If you're really digging it and you want more, you can find me on all social media platforms at 5 Elements Tactical. That's all I got for now, warriors. So until our paths cross again, pray for the best, prepare for the rest. I'm Kiyoshi Dave Herman with 5 Elements Tactical Training. Thanks for watching.